Hi everyone, and welcome once again to Fusion Fighting Championships. We are here again at Epsom Downs Racecourse. I'm Tim Radcliffe, this is Andy James, and we'll be presenting the show for you tonight. Andy, there are a lot of fights on tonight. Anything you're particularly looking forward to?
I'm actually looking forward to all three title fights. The first one, featherweight K1 with Arunas Salters against Kanwar Singh. That proves to be quite exciting. And of course, Dean Hawkins.
Oh, the Dean Hawkins, yeah.
Who knocked out his opponent in just 28 seconds in his last fight.
Yeah, that's a guy who's got dynamite in both hands. Can't see that fight going the distance at all. And the last fight we've got on tonight, which is a title fight, is Nathaniel Wood versus Chris Ada. Now Nathaniel is a young fighter who's come up through the ranks on Fusion. He's a semi-pro guy at the moment, full of talent, young, and I believe this will be his last fight as a semi-pro before he moves on to pro. So he'll be looking to make a statement against, or especially for everyone out there watching. So I reckon that'll be probably fight of the night.
Well, good luck to Chris Ada too.
Anyway, enough of that, and I think we should go inside and crack on and look at some fights.
My name is Kanwar Singh. I'm fighting out of Beast Fight Club in Norwood Green, Southall. My opponent's name is Arunas Salters. Don't know much about him. Seen a few clips on YouTube, but I feel cool, calm, confident about this fight.
My name is Arunas Salters. I fight in Kanwar Singh. I fighting out of Antonio Gym.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first title fight of the evening. It's a featherweight K1 bout to be contested over three-minute rounds. Now, making his way to the octagon, fighting out of the blue corner, representing Antonio's Gym in London, please put your hands together for Aaron Celius. His opponent this evening, making his way to the octagon, fighting out of the red corner, representing Team Beast and SWS. Please put your hands together for Kanwar Singh.
Original dangerous, danger, danger, dangerous. I am dangerous, yeah. I am dangerous, yeah. In God who I put my trust, yeah. And when the sun comes shine and the rain comes fall, I am dangerous, yeah. And when the moon at night and it shines so bright, I am dangerous, hey. And when I go to a dance on the dance hall ramp, I am dangerous, hey. And if I sing a contest, one come jump in my chest, I am dangerous.
So our first K1 bout of the evening, Aaron Celius from Antonio's Gym versus Kanwar Singh from Team Beast and SWO. Three-minute rounds of K1 action. So the touch gloves and ready to go. And immediately Singh comes forward with those hooks, and it's important to remember, Aaron, in the K1, aggression counts for so much in the scoring.
Yeah, and he's already showing the intention to mix those strikes up. Good hooks, good straight punches, and I think he's got Celius worried here in the first.
That left hook landed twice, Josh, and the other thing, as we said, we saw there, perfect rules by Singh. You can clinch, throw the knee, then you must release. It doesn't mean you can't tie up again immediately and throw it again, but there must be that release that separates it from the Thai boxing.
We saw Celius immediately, whilst he was under duress, look for that body clinch to just try and slow the pace down, because Singh's come out with a vengeance here.
Well, the right-hand side of Silius's face is already marked from those stinging left hooks of Singh's. And as I said, the judges will appreciate that, because the forward fighter is the man they look for.
Singh has a lot of focus in his eyes. He ate one shot coming forward, but hasn't really slowed him down here. Again, that good single knee in the clinch.
Well, I worry for Silius because he hasn't tried to block or check the knees. Now, that's a good tactic there to slow his man down. For the first time, Singh slowed because of that chopping kick to the front leg, to the knee.
It does appear that the handiwork of Singh is really where he's keeping it, not throwing any kicks yet, unlike his opponent Silius, who's just firing in those low kicks from every angle he can.
Well, that makes sense to me because he's seen the firepower of Singh, and he's seen the way he comes in and closes the distance. So the way to stop that is to chop away at the legs, but he's not doing it consistently enough, and for the first time, Singh checks the leg kick.
We saw from Silius some very nice work, that counter rotation of the kick immediately rotating into the opposite side hand.
Well, the lead leg for him is the closest target, and that's what he should be concentrating on to keep Singh away, and he does it again, and it's the right tactic to try and keep your man away. But Singh, at the moment, seems impervious, but it's three-minute rounds. It's a dangerous game not to move out the way or check these kicks.
Yeah, it's a high work rate throughout those 3 threes as well. I do like how straight the punches from Singh are coming in, and then he switches off and varies it up a bit.
Silius is just beginning to slowly work, jumping knee there from Singh as I said that. He's just beginning to slowly work his way into the fight and settle after that explosive start from Singh. And he looks a competent fighter himself.
We saw as Singh broke away from the cage there, a cheeky left hook, really just recognising where that space and that range is and sneaking the shot in when he can.
Well, when you saw Silius throw that left there, you saw his head naturally turn away. So he is wary of the power of Singh. Whenever you see a fighter do that, you know he's wary of what's coming back. Well, entertaining opening round, Josh. I'm going for Singh on the aggression and the shots landed.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, Malcolm. Singh was really the one pushing forward, the one throwing in greater volume. Ate a few good leg kicks from Silius throughout that round, though.
Yes, and I felt towards the end of the round he began to settle more, but just 3/4 of the way through it, when he threw that left and then darted his head away expecting a response, I realised he's still a bit wary of the power of Singh. So as we're ready for round 2, Josh, I feel that Silius has just settled down a little bit. I still think Singh is in the ascendancy and Silius is worried about his power. But let's see if he continues to chop away at that lead leg to try and slow his man down, because obviously, despite the few kicks that he's thrown, Singh is happiest boxing.
Yeah, certainly. Silius taking a few deep breaths as he came out of his corner there, and straight away again it's Singh taking the centre of the ring.
Well, he's allowed him to, Josh. He's allowed him to because he's not throwing those legs.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He's throwing a few fakes now, but straight away Singh's closing the range very aggressively. Good straight shots again.
And that's the problem for Silius, is that he's allowing Singh to close that range and get his boxing off. This is where he needs to be throwing the legs now, at that range, but he's allowing his man to come in and box, and we've seen he is the better boxer of the two.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps a couple of push kicks to try and really create that space, keep him at range and circle off. It's clearly the type of game he wants to play, whereas Singh wants to come straight down the middle with those hands.
This is what he needs to be doing constantly, but he's backing away, he's keeping the range, but he's not scoring himself. One kick's not enough when Singh comes in, doubles, triples at the jab, then throws the right hand.
Yeah, that front hand of Singh is doing a lot of good work for him here in this second round.
And you saw they both threw punches, but Aaron had to back up Aaron Silius because Singh is powerful.
Yeah, the far more competent combinations are coming from the man in the red corner. Is really starting to mix up a lot of the strikes now, but he's never throwing single shots. He's always throwing in volume, and everything is coming one after the other, giving his opponent absolutely no time to rest.
Well, this is the problem for Silius, as you've seen right above our position now. He's in total defensive mode, but he needs to keep that gap and range to regroup, but he's allowing Singh to dominate the range as well.
Yeah, Singh just appears to be happy to eat the odd shot on the way in if he gets 3 or 4 of his own off. It's really a good trade for him.
And now even those leg kicks are half-hearted from Silius. There's no reason for Singh not to keep pulling forward. He's giving him no reason to stop and think.
Yeah, as the tiredness starts setting in, there is a great pace on this fight from both guys, but you know, taking a lot of damage is very, very tiring for a fighter.
And the amazing thing is the very first kick from Singh is superb, so he can do it. If I'd have known that, I'd have been in his corner saying throw those early as well, because it was a right kick from him to the left thigh of Silius that buckled his leg. So with that boxing skill, bring those legs in as well.
Yeah, by all means. He's also finding a really good home for that right hook to the body. But as you say, if he can start mixing the kicks in as well, Silius has got to start thinking about damage from every angle.
Well, there was a nice knee to the thigh as well, which will slow Silius down. We talked about slowing Singh down. Singh's actually now added the kicks and the knees to his arsenal in the second and slowed his man down. So it's tough times here for Aaron Silius. You can't see what he can do in the third to stop it.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to say he's 2 rounds down at this point. He's going to have to look for a stoppage or at least knock his man down. But Singh has just taken the tempo up another notch here in this second round.
Now, Josh, looking at the two men here, ironically, we were talking about slowing down a man and tiring him and trying to get your way back into the fight there. But the way Singh has stepped up in the second round, it's actually Silius that's now looking tired as well.
Yeah, certainly is. And Singh just has an absolute look of focus and vengeance in his eyes. He knows he's got the upper hand in this fight, and he doesn't want to let the motivation or the momentum swing the other way.
And as we saw in that second round, we were saying between the second and the third how good his kicks are. If he was to throw more of those, he would be really, really dangerous fighter. And again, as you saw there, the kicks are now lacking any sort of firmness from Silius as well, any intent. This is damage limitation now, I feel.
Yeah, I think that is fair comment. I mean, we can see every shot Singh throws, he's really getting his entire body into it. He's getting all that extension up through the hip and the shoulder, and he's throwing with a lot of emotional intention to do that damage, and that's going to count for a lot here.
And as you mentioned in the second, because he's in such control, he's willing to take a shot like that to stay there.
Yeah, he's just not going to be too fazed by them. It's not putting him on the back foot. He knows he's landing his own shots, and it's just so much easier to keep walking forward in that kind of scenario.
And the problem for Silius, we saw the back fist attempt, which is totally legal, had no slap to it, had no power to it. He's drained.
Yeah, we can see that the explosive pop has just gone out of Silius. He's not quite finding the range the same. He's just not quite punching through his man. He's really just trying to reach the target.
And again, he does get through, but Singh's happy to take that, to stay where he is, to stay in range and throw the combinations. Big overstretch with the right hand from Silius as well.
And we can see the guard starting to come down. That punch isn't snapping back to his head. It's really just starting to fall to his hip. I feel this fight might be getting away from him here.
And this is where you'd like to see, after the second round, Singh blasting in that right kick again. He's in total control. He's here. Now it needs to come in. Yeah. He can fire it away.
I mean, you're right. He's taken all the focus up to the top of the body. Clearly, Silius isn't going to be thinking about those legs at all. It's just... does land a good combination there, though.
That was the best combination of the night from him. It wasn't the best combination of the night. They've been coming from Singh, but that was the best work from Silius. Sort of like last gasp, but he takes a big right, Josh.
Oh, yes, getting spun all the way round and immediately in with the knee in the clinch is Singh, and Silius doing everything he can just to, again, hold on to his man.
Well, that was very bizarre. Went to the cage and bent to the floor. He's exhausted.
Yeah, Singh's just going to take more heart from that, and he knows that all he's got to do is keep forward, throwing any kind of strikes, and he's going to take the victory here.
Yes, I feel with more of those explosive leg kicks that he's capable of, a stoppage was more than capable here. As it is, Silius will limp back to the corner. Now you see the damage from the few kicks he'd thrown. Imagine those thrown early in round one. But Josh, a big win obviously for the man in red.
Yeah, I think we don't ever like to put words in the MC's mouth, but I think this one's fairly clear cut here. Singh just the aggressor the whole way through, dictated the range, dictated the pace, and just outlanded his opponent.
Hi, I'm here with Kanwar Singh. Kanwar, how did the fight go?
Awesome. Went everything to plan. I was throwing my jab. My trainer's been told me that my jab's really sharp. Keep using it and counter off it. A couple of times I let my hands go down and got countered back, but there's nothing I couldn't take. I felt confident there. The guy was tough and I thought I had him a couple of times, but yeah, I thought fantastic.
It's a title fight, so were you nervous coming in?
I was nervous, forgot about the title at the beginning. I didn't care, I just thought it was another fight. I just want to beat him up, good fight, go home, but I'll just come with it.
At which point did you think you've got this?
Second round, felt comfortable, started easing off a bit in the third, but saying that I nearly got caught a couple of times. Then I had my corner, Lack and Sandip, shouting at me, keep your hands up, and then from there, that was it.
Brilliant fight. Well done.
Thank you very much. I want to say thanks to Ricardo for giving me the opportunity, and a massive thanks to Sandip and Lack Sekon, my two trainers, and everyone at Beast Fight Club.